Yes, welcome to Bikes with Rye. In today's video we discuss 7 of the worst ideas in motorcycling. But before we get started, if you are new here and love all things motorcycle, please feel free to subscribe, and if at any point you find this valuable or entertaining, let me know with a thumbs up and a comment below. In the early 80s, BMW with its K100 thought it would reinvent motorcycle switchgear, specifically the convention of the indicator toggle, which I find ironic considering it would be a switch that a BMW owner typically isn't accustomed to using. Anyhow, it was done by replacing one switch with not just 2, but 3 separate buttons, left on the left pod and right on the right pod, plus a separate cancel button also on the left. In truth, once acclimatised to, it worked okay and many owners became very loyal. But 3 instead of 1 button was never likely to survive. Remember Honda's VF400F? You probably don't, but know this, the VF400F was a machine that rewrote the rules of motorcycle design. Released in 1982, it was a 400cc V4 with features such as air-assisted front and rear suspension, as well as Honda's brief infatuation with what it called inboard ventilated disc brakes. These inboard disc brakes were a shrouded front disc brake system claimed to improve wet weather braking, but in reality achieving nothing of the sort, and was instead prone to overheating and a nightmare to service. Within 2 years, Honda had recognised this themselves and dropped the whole idea. Roofed motorcycles. We are mostly thinking of BMW's revolutionary C1 here, but it certainly wasn't the only one. The BMW C1 was an enclosed scooter made by Bertone for BMW. Compared to a conventional scooter, the C1 offered extra safety features and protection from the elements. The rider would sit in a car-type seat with a seatbelt and adopt a feet-forward posture. The short-lived C1 was actually a brilliant idea and worked well, the idea basically being a commuter with a car-style safety cage that was not only weatherproof but, in some countries, also negated the need for a crash helmet. Unfortunately, however, the 125cc version was heavy and slow. The UK law required a helmet and it was expensive. As a result, sales were slow and the C1 was discontinued in 2002, just 2 years after launch. In the early to mid 80s, the motorcycling world temporarily went turbo mad, with Honda first producing the CX500, then 650 turbo, followed by Yamaha's XJ650T, Suzuki's XN85, and Kawasaki's GPZ750T. People soon discovered the critical problems with these bikes. The turbo lag was intrusive, the bikes were heavy, overcomplicated and expensive, but critically, what also didn't help was they offered little to no true performance advantage over the bigger, naturally aspirated bikes. In the early 1990s, Norton were racing with fire-spitting 580cc rotary engine bikes. The basic idea of the rotary engine was getting rid of all the reciprocating bits of a normal engine, the pistons, conrods, valves, and replacing them with a design that does the same suck, squeeze, bang, blow sequence, but using purely rotating parts. Due to its revolutionary motion, a rotary engine operates with less vibration than a piston engine. This allows rotary engines to be tuned to run at higher RPM, thus producing more power. It was genius, but sadly a genius that was hamstrung by a handful of flaws. Most notably were the difficulties in sealing the rotor tips, making it costly to run and unreliable. It was also prone to overheating. They were thirsty and extremely dirty emission-wise too. Not ideal as a road bike then. Over the years, plenty of boffins, vexed by old bicycle technology that combined the steering and suspension as the same component, have repeatedly tried to come up with a better system. Hub center steering being the prime example. Hub center steering is characterised by the steering pivot points being inside the hub of the wheel, rather than above the wheel in the headstock as in the traditional layout. Most hub center arrangements employ a swing arm that extends from the bottom of the engine frame to the centre of the front wheel. Yamaha tried with its disastrous GTS 1000. The issue remains that linkages make the steering imprecise. There's reduced steering lock, they are heavy and complex, expensive and need regular servicing. If modern light simple effective telescopic forks didn't work so well, maybe there would be some point exploring hub center steering and the like. There's surely no more definitively bad idea in motorcycling than that of the Honda NR's oval pistons. The only way you could be more obtuse or counterintuitive is to suggest square wheels. Toshimitsu Yoshimura, an engineer involved in the development of the NR500's oval piston engine, has stated, "When I look back at it, I'm not sure if we were experimenting with cutting edge technologies or obsessed with foolish ideas." Honda was determined to compete with its favoured 4-strokes against the dominant 2-strokes of Yamaha and Suzuki by effectively creating a V8 with the extra valves and combustion area but in regulation fitting V4 form by mating pairs of pistons and cylinders together in an oval shape. Honda eventually abandoned this idea in favour of the NS500 2-stroke triple, which took Freddie Spencer to World Championship success within just 2 years. However, Honda did release a road-going NR750 before dropping this idea, a bike which remains one of the most advanced and collectible motorcycles of all time. Still a bad idea though. Anyway, that is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed this one and I look forward to seeing you on another very soon. Thank you for watching. See you later.